today's media conference, Ninesh Kotak, founder of the Kotak personal injury law firm, presents a check for $4,000 to Steve Topham, National Partnerships Director, Wounded Warriors Canada. Kotak personal injury law firm has been donating a check to Wounded Warriors Canada for 4 years now, and the tradition continues this year in advance of the Kotak Military Appreciation Game featuring the Brampton Beast Hockey Club right here at the CAA Centre in Brampton, Ontario. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the signing of the armistice ending hostilities in World War I.
Once again, this Sunday's game is not just an average hockey game. It's an opportunity for our fans, for our staff, our players, and everyone to give thanks to the men and women of the Canadian Armed Forces for their tireless efforts in maintaining our freedom. Joining us today to announce the details of this year's Military Appreciation Day is President and General Manager of the Brampton Beast, Carrie Kaplan, as well as Steve Topham with Wounded Warriors Canada, and Ninesh Kotak, barrister and solicitor with Kotak Personal Injury Law. To kick us off, I'd now like to call upon Mr. Kaplan to come forward and say a few words on behalf of the Beast.
Thank you, Stephen, Ninesh, for being here today. This is always one of the, and for those that haven't been here before, this is one of the most special events that we do in the year. You know, we're fortunate it's a hockey team, and be excited about playing hockey and how our team does on the ice, and we talk about winning games and attendance at our games, but people forget, you know, when World War II, sports stop. You know, every sport, you guys are too young, most people here are too young to appreciate that, but there's no hockey, no baseball, no football, no basketball, no tennis, no golf during World War II. And I think in a lot of ways, sports is we live in a country where we have the luxury to participate in these sporting events, and it's in some ways an alternative or a replacement for war that our brave men and women for this country represent us in. And for one game a year, we really, and you know, I ask sort of people to reflect on it, especially we always do a really great opening ceremony, and I look forward to the opening ceremony on the game on Sunday. And I think, you know, take a minute if you can and reflect on what we're really doing there. It's a thank you, is that we're trying to offer in our little way a thank you to the men and women who have fought for our country and represent our country and continue to represent our country and all over the world. And so again, for me, it's a privilege to be able to be part of this event. And again, it only exists because of many of our great partners, and beyond the guys that are here today, the cadets, the number of legions, there's a lot of different groups that are going to be represented. There'll be over 1,000 people here on Sunday that are represented in one way, shape, or form from the military. So again, it's a really tremendous event. We're proud to be part of it, and it's something that the Brampton Beast, it's now in our 4th year that we're doing this with Ninesh, and it's been a real privilege.
This is the 4th consecutive year that we are hosting Kotak Law Military Appreciation Day. And it's a day where we bring up to 1,000 troops, veterans, and cadets to a Brampton Beast hockey game. And many of the guests will be hosted by myself in the suites during the game. Now, this year's event, I think, holds a tremendous significance. 100 years ago, on November 11th, 1918 at 11 a.m., an armistice was signed, ending the hostilities on the Western Front of World War I. And it was called Armistice Day. Now, in Canada, as in many other Commonwealth countries, the day was renamed Remembrance Day. And that, in fact, then allows us to honor veterans from other campaigns, World War II, the Korean War, peacekeeping engagements, Afghanistan, and the war on terror. Our military has had the honor and a real deep heroic history. In the First World War, 620,000 Canadians served, and our population was only 7.5 million. More than 60,000 Canadian soldiers died, and 172,000 were wounded. In World War II, well, getting back to World War I, what is important and why is it called the Great War? It's really the first time that you have the mass casualties with trench warfare and the use of toxic and chemical weapons that our soldiers actually faced. In World War II, 1.1 million Canadian soldiers served, and our population was around 11 million. More than 45,000 Canadians died, and 55,000 were wounded. Now, moving forward to more present times, Canada, as a member of NATO, has stood strong with its allies during the Cold War, and in fact, we responded to the NATO mandate after the September 11 terror attacks. 40,000 Canadians served in Afghanistan, 158 Canadians were killed, and more than 2,000, in fact, were wounded. And the use of IEDs, improvised explosive devices, led to significant orthopedic injuries to the lower extremities. Legs were literally blown apart. Wounded Warriors Canada was formed in 2006, and their motto is so profound: honor the fallen and help the living. And that's, in fact, exactly what they do. And not only are they there for the injured soldiers, they help the families of the troops as well. They help rebuild broken lives. They understand the psychological impact of war. Now, it has been my honor to provide the donation to Wounded Warriors Canada at each of our military appreciation events. And this year, I will be proud to present a check in the sum of $4,000. This year's Kotak Military Appreciation Day will be held on November 11th, and the game time is 4 p.m., and the opening ceremonies will commence approximately 3:35 to 3:40 p.m. And I look forward to seeing everyone there. And importantly now, I want to thank all the Brampton Bee staff, each and every one of you, for all the hard work that you guys have done to put this all together. It's amazing.
We at Wounded Warriors Canada have been very fortunate to be at the forefront of helping those that are ill and injured with occupational stress injuries such as PTSD. Since 2013, through the partnerships that we have been privileged to gain, we're very proud to say that we have been able to fund $15.1 million in programming, all at no cost to the participants. And we can only do this through the partnerships that we have with organizations such as the Brampton Bees and Kotak, and we're very privileged to be able to grow the awareness through events such as this Night of Remembrance. It's the opportunity to say thank you to those that have served and provided us the safety and security that we enjoy and experience every day. Now, through the stories that Nanesh shared regarding World War I and II, I have a personal experience from something that took place this year on our battlefield bike ride in Yugoslavia, or the former Yugoslavia. We were very proud to have, for the first time, members of our armed forces that actually served in the conflict region. And 30 of those individuals that participated in that ride, that served in that region, were witness to an ethnic cleansing and genocide. Many were 21-year-old reservists at the time. Now, something that I learned through this event was that when you're in the reserve and your contract is up, you're sent home. You're sent home to mom and dad rather than to the family of your base and community. And that was quite a shock for me, and also hammered home the reality of what it is that we're doing at the charity, in that we're providing programs and assisting those that have earned it. And it is only through these partnerships that we continue to excel in the space as the leading provider of animal-assisted therapy as well as couples therapy. So we're very grateful for this opportunity to say thank you to everyone involved with this event, as well as on Sunday during the game to be able to thank those that have served us so honorably. So thank you all.
I'm with Mr. Nainesh Kotak, head of the Kotak Personal Injury Law Firm based here in Mississauga, and also a philanthropist of the highest order, a gentleman who supports the military by virtue of the fact that he supports the military appreciation game featuring the Brampton Beast, and today presenting a check on behalf of his firm to Wounded Warriors Canada. Well, the 4th year for this, Nainesh. Congratulations all around.
Thank you so much. You know, this all started out, the first year was in 2015, Remembrance Day. And the vision was, how can we bring hockey together with, and hockey's our really national pastime, how do you bring that together with something very important and fundamental to Canadian society? And myself with members of the Brampton Beast, we sat down and decided, you know what, it's the military. They're the ones who need our support because they're the ones who've contributed to our society really more than anybody else. And the event began, and each year it has grown. And this year, I'm proud to say it's the 4th consecutive event, Kotak Law Military Appreciation Day. And it's really significant, very important. 100 years ago was actually the armistice, 1918, ending the war on the Western Front in World War I. And here we are 100 years later, and it's called Remembrance Day now, but it began as Armistice Day.
You know, you say 4 years, and here we are talking about Wounded Warriors Canada and a donation to them, and we're also talking about the hockey game,
yes.
Appreciating military. For that day, and I know in your humility, we don't talk so much about how you support more than 1,000 veterans and their families who come out to the game. Yes. But it's not only that. People who come to this game and see what happens here know that we truly, truly appreciate what our veterans fought for and what our members of the armed forces are fighting for now. And there are not very many organizations, associations, clubs, whatever, who really do something as tangible as Kotak Law really does. And we want to really commend you and congratulate you for this.
Well, that's much appreciated. And you know, I think it's the least I can do. And I would hope that other individuals and corporations sort of follow my lead and do the same, particularly with respect to Wounded Warriors Canada. They do so much for our soldiers and their families and you know, the psychological impact of war and what our soldiers in fact see and have, you know, throughout the 100 or so years of various wars that we've been involved in. To have an organization like them that was formed in 2006 during the conflict in Afghanistan, it really is fantastic for our soldiers. And I think I'm just doing one small step to give some appreciation for what they in fact do.
Now, I know out of the kindness of your heart and your philanthropic attitude towards things, but in your practice, a really viable and important practice, to find the time to do that and do it as well as you and the firm does, you know, here, to really do this kind of work, it really takes a whole lot. And how do you find the time?
You know, if there's something that's important to you, you're going to find the time. It's family. You're going to find the time for them. And for charitable events and charitable contributions, I think if you really believe in something, there's enough time. There really is enough time, and you'll just schedule your days accordingly, and you'll do what you need to do.
Well said. But you know, before I let you go, and I know duty calls, there are all kinds of other causes that you support as well. This is not the only one. This is a big one, and this is really important. This is a really important cause. But Peel Mental Health and causes like that, you back it all up with your real support.
Yes, I always say, and I truly feel that I think if you are successful in society, I think there's a karmic duty to give back, and it just gives you such a warm feeling of satisfaction. So yes, there are other causes that I do support. Peel Children's Center and Spectra Community Support Services, organizations that really help in the community for people who are vulnerable, and it's something I'm quite proud of and will continue to do.
Well, thank you very much, Nainesh, and we'll see you at the game on Remembrance Day. And fourth year for this, but Kotak Personal Injury Law voted the top legal personal injury firm in Mississauga 11 years running. So you got a 4 over here and an 11 over there. Congratulations, and blessings to you for all the good work you do.
Thank you so much, and please, I would love for people in the community to come out to the game and watch what we do.
Steve Topham is National Partnerships Director with Wounded Warriors Canada. Wounded Warriors Canada, the beneficiary of a check for $4,000 today from Kotak Personal Injury Law. Well, first of all, let me say, Steve, it's good to meet you. Congratulations. Wounded Warriors Canada, what does the check today mean to you and mean to Wounded Warriors Canada?
Well, the donation today is just overwhelming. I mean, what we're able to do with the funds that we receive through our partners is allowing us to make our programs happen. So what we have been able to do is work 80 cents on every dollar to our programs at this point, and we're been very fortunate to take the donations and generosity of those from coast to coast and translate that into $15.1 million in programs funded.
And of course, you know too that this is not the only thing that Kotak Personal Injury Law does, along with a partnership with the Brampton Beast, because we've got the Military Appreciation Game coming up.
Yes.
On Sunday, the 100th anniversary of the signing of the armistice, and more than 1,000 veterans and their families will be coming out here. So that's also a very, very big thing. And it talks about the partnership between Kotak Personal Injury Law and the Brampton Beast.
Well, and it also speaks to their partnership and involvement in the community. The opportunity to say thank you to these brave men and women and their families who have served at any point in time is an honor. And to be able to do that this year on the 100th anniversary of Armistice and Remembrance Day is truly something that is going to be a special experience for all those.
Wonder if you take a minute, Steve, to give our viewers a sense of Wounded Warriors Canada and what they do, and certainly from the perspective that most people tend to think that the government takes care of the veterans and members of the armed forces, all the time. But you, the Wounded Warriors Canada, are a great supplemental help to members of the armed forces and so on. Give us a sense of what Wounded Warriors does.
Well, we're a national mental health charity that is basically filling the gap that has existed in the services and therapy provided for those that are suffering with occupational stress injuries such as post-traumatic stress disorder. And in 2013 is when we as a charity actually redirected our mission to focus on mental health. Up to that point, we had been a comfort item charity, and knowing that more and more of our veterans were coming home, the suicide rate was climbing, and we knew that it was unacceptable and we could make a difference in the space, and that's when we decided to switch to mental health.
This is all very rewarding work. When you see success, when you see veterans being helped and then their families benefit because of this, it's got to be really rewarding, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. I mean, it really does show the commitment that Canadians from coast to coast have in the mission, as we've dubbed it, being in this together. And what we mean by being in this together is that no one individual, organization, or level of government is going to be able to tackle this on their own. So it's the partnerships like this with Kotak and the Brampton Beast and the community at large that is allowing us to continue to make a difference in the lives of those that have served.
Well, Steve, thank you for your time. And this year, again, particularly 100 years since the signing of the armistice, and we're going to have a real appreciation here for our military come Sunday, November the 11th. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Kerry Kaplan is General Manager and President of the Brampton Beast Hockey Club, and we are here at the CAA Centre, home of the Brampton Beast. Well, this morning, good media conference, great partnership between Brampton Beast and 9H Kotak, Kotak Personal Injury Law. $4,000 to Wounded Warriors Canada in advance of the Military Appreciation Game this Sunday.
Well, first of all, I want to thank ATN because you guys are always, every year you come for this event, and we really appreciate that you guys are another part of getting the word out. But yeah, it's a great event. We're lucky that we're a hockey team, but we get to do an event for the military, and it's a thank you, and it's Wounded Warriors. And this year it's actually right on Remembrance Day. Usually we're a couple days off because we typically want to have it on a Sunday. So today it's right on November 11th. It's the 100th recognition of the end of World War I. And as you say, it's Wounded Warriors has been a tremendous partner. It's obviously a great cause. It's something that's close to our heart, and we're proud to be part of it.
Kerry, I want to give you the chance here to let our viewers know. I've been here to the game before. I've been to other Brampton Beast games, and I enjoyed it. Fabulous fun, great games, and especially the Military Appreciation Game here. Give us a sense what's happening that day.
Well, the first thing I'd say, and you know, people say I'm biased. I was the president of the team. I'd say, if you come and you don't have fun, we give you your money back. We give you your money back. But nobody does that because for those people who have come, they will say, and we'd obviously like people to come 20 times instead of 4 times. It's a great time. It's a great time for your family, for friends. Get away for a few hours, enjoy it. It's local, it's affordable, all that. On this specific day, it's even more than that, because it's a commemoration and recognition of the military. So it's a great event anyway on any given day, but on this case you're also being part of something special.
Let me echo that. Great game. It's a great day. It's a wonderful day, not just to remember our veterans, but to remember what they fought for and why they did what they did. And living in a great country as we are right here in Canada, we need to be thankful for that. And to back that up with our national game here, hockey, the military, the families come out, and you've got a great product right here in Brampton. It's those people, you know, within our viewership here, come on out to the game. Come on out and support the Brampton Beast. Last word to you, Kerry.
Well, we're lucky in this generation. You know, the last time that hockey stopped was 1945. So, you know, it's a long time ago. Most people weren't around in 1945, or a lot of people weren't, or very young. The fact that we get to play sporting events means we're at peace, and it's peacetime. But it's recognizing the people that continue to represent us from a military standpoint. It's really important. So I say, be part of that. And, you know, if you're at the game, pause at some point and look in the crowd. It's one thing looking at the ice, but look in the crowd at all the people in uniforms that are really doing something special to make Canada what it is. So yes, we're very appreciative.
Well, Kerry, thank you for your time, and we look forward to a great day and a great game. Again, as you say, we can't overemphasize the fact it'll be 100 years since the signing of the armistice this Sunday, November the 11th.
It will, and we look forward to people being there, and again, we look forward to ATN being a part of it as well.
Kerry Kaplan, President and General Manager of the Brampton Beast Hockey Club, and we are right here at the home of the Brampton Beast Hockey Club, the CAA Centre.